Ladies and gentlemen, let's hope I can remember how to do this. I'm going to put all the tactical, interpersonal information at the front, and then I'll start talking about the weirder crap at the end. Can you handle that? Okay, if you are in the red, orange, or whatever the hell color that is right there area, you need to be watching out over the next 7 days because shit is going to get floody. And this area right in here is going to be facing some type of a wintry mix that people probably won't be able to nail down until right before the event, which is okay because a lot of people on the East Coast like to get really mad at the meteorologists who can't nail it down. Even though shit is so weird, wild, and wacky, who can expect them to nail it down? Part of the weird stuff I'll be talking about later is how the energy over the last few days has been incredibly weird, intense, and strange. Okay, but an old theory I have at Thor News is that when the sun acts weird, Earth weather acts weird, and then people act weird. And so here comes the solar wind. Again, a canyon-shaped hole in the sun's atmosphere is facing Earth and spewing solar wind in our direction. So this is going to intensify all the intensity. And as you can see, the auroras are kicking. Now how it works is the sun pours energy like an umbilical cord into the Earth through the poles, and that grows the core. Science doesn't agree with that, but dude, science hasn't improved on the combustion engine since 1800s. Technically, in the 1800s we had like electricity, the phone, combustion engine, and then science became like a stick in the mud. So the golden age of science really was in the 1800s. Okay, so yeah, as you can see, this isn't even a sunspot. I don't even know what it is. They call it a plunge. I don't know what that is. It's new to me. And then we have a blackout and some type of a weird eclipse. Unexplained. And so yeah, it's things are weird, and we are in uncharted territory as human beings. So that's why I always say it is a great time for all of us to work together. Another thing I've been saying is if you want to watch all the really crazy activity, the craziest activity is happening in the Atlantic. Between the volcano range in Alaska and the volcano range in Russia. And Hawaii, I'm very, very concerned about you. Because everybody loves Hawaii. Whoever goes to Hawaii, they usually come back with super happiness. So any spot on Earth that brings people a lot of happiness, we need to look out for. And I'd like to go there someday if my luck ever turns the tables. For some reason, my luck's been bad lately. I think I got food poisoning yesterday from ramen noodles. I mean, how bad luck do you have to have that happen? Okay, so we're looking at a 250 millibar jet stream. Although all the pros recommend you look at the 500 millibars or even the 700 millibars. But either way, you can see that we've got some territorial action pressing down over the Texarlex out to the Appalachians. All right, I didn't say that as well as I should. I'm a little rusty. This is our next 48 hours. And as right now, you got heavy rain or just rain moving through, like Arkansas, Louisiana, Tennessee, and those areas. And then it will be moving east as it usually does. But see what's going to happen here is in like our pre-hurricane pattern. Let me get over here to here. We're going to watch it. These are the models. Don't take them too seriously. Pretend they're kind of like a comedian. Okay, that's not a good analogy. But this is the 21st. But as you can see, we have our Azores high, I think, setting up again in the Atlantic, which is going to push a lot of the moisture from the east edge of Texas. The east edge of Texas all the way to Florida and up the coast. So we may be seeing our beginning of our wave after wave after wave pattern, which happens usually about this time of the year that will predate hurricane season. And I got a feeling hurricane season is going to start early this year, and definitely for the Atlantic coast. The Pacific coast. See, I can't even get my words right today. At least it wasn't as bad as last week when I called Valentine's Day Thanksgiving. But hopefully you guys forgive me. Because you know what? If we're going to make it together as a human civilization, forgiveness is very important. Okay, now we're going to check out the West Coast, too. The storm that I spent like the 1st to the 10th, 11th, talking about nonstop. It was pretty bad. Actually, it wasn't as bad as I thought it might be, but it was still really bad. It has brought tremendous amount of snow to the Sierras, parts of Washington, and it caused sinkholes, mudslides, some nasty situations. But this is Wednesday, because when I did my calculation, the super main problems don't look to start until Wednesday. And so Wednesday it fires up, and then it gets pretty nasty. Now I've seen different models show some heavier rain bands through this area, which I think is what will happen. And like I said, that pattern just kind of repeats in a much faster clip as you have your low meet up with your Gulf moisture, and then it kind of explodes out the East Coast in this wintry mix, which will be hard to tell. And that's one thing I'm very glad that I don't predict the inches you're going to get or of snow, because that caused a lot of problems. Anyway, you can see in about a week we got another big storm moving through California, and then I think there's another low behind that. Yeah, and then boom, you got a secondary low. Because whatever's going on in the Pacific is super wild, crazy, weird. Man, let's see, I'm out of my... What did I want to talk about now? Where did you go? Where did I put you? We'll put you second. I gotta work on my, Here we go. Okay, so this is what's happening right now. Dang it, why do I always forget to put a river flooding map? How are you doing? I missed you. I really did. I slept a lot, and I started watching The Punisher. And that guy, that Johnny Bernthal, he plays The Punisher. He's done an amazing job. We only have 105 rivers flooding right now as we enter this very wet wave after wave after wave pattern. How was your Valentine's Day? Mine was super crappy, as has been every single holiday in the last year. So I'm used to it. And sometimes as your planetary defense commander, in combat situations, I thrive and actually have fun. So now you can see it kind of looks like an Edgar Casey map, where you've got a lot of rivers flooding all the way down through Louisiana, up through St. Louis, Oklahoma, Ohio. And so that is a situation that needs to be watched, especially since that is where the high area will be pushing a lot of the moisture. There's a look at your jet stream. Dang, I'm all over the place. Oh yeah, I kicked it to the end. Am I dumb? Maybe. We're all dumb in our own ways. Okay, now one thing I want to show you is, now watch, this is today. Now the big floody area is going to be here, but I want you to watch because I'm concerned about Hawaii, and I don't know what's going on in the Pacific. I don't think anybody does. Anthony might. Cranky might have a handle on it. I always highly recommend you follow Cranky Weather Guy. He has a blog, stormhamster.com. Sure, the name's a little squirrely, but the guy is super duper duper smart, and he breaks it down as good as possible. And when he's not too cranky, he's really funny. But sometimes when he gets cranky, he gets really cranky. Who could blame him, dude? It ain't easy being in the meteorology community. I'm telling you, talking to the public. You know, people just get mad these days, and they like to get mad at people, and that's not me. But as you can see, this thing, the whole line of moisture is going straight up into Alaska, and that doesn't make any damn sense to me. So let's watch that again, shall we? You and I, together. But as you can see, it's just pulling that moisture straight up into Alaska, which doesn't make any sense. And if that is going to happen, then I think Hawaii is going to be getting a lot of rain over the next few days. So, please watch out. I tried to make a Brady Bunch Hawaii joke in there, but I couldn't. So forgive me for failure. Happens to us all. But as long as it's non-fatal failure, then you can live and you can actually learn from it. And hey, it looks like Europe has been getting saved by the high pressure zone. And, but as you can see, well, let me go back over to, I gotta get in my groove. Man, I was totally in my groove for the beginning of February. I'm gonna get back there, hopefully. All right, we're going to pressure here. Mean sea level pressure. Now we're watching, it's pretty much the moisture rotates around the white stuff. The blue rotates around the white. That's how it goes. Ooh, that looks bad for Europe, but see how then it goes straight up. And so that white there, that's what all the moisture is going to be rotating around this thing right here. And that's why you'll be seeing the moisture streams hit up. So not only will you be having moisture streams coming, whoa, boom, you'll be having moisture streams coming, boom. And so when the low combines with the secondary stream, it has the potential to cause some pretty nasty storms. And another thing I want to state is that through all my research, because a lot of times people will like leave me a bumper sticker, like chemtrails, look it up, do some research. Or like geoengineering, look it up, do some research. It's like, dude, if you have not included the sun and the solar system into your research, you need to do research. Because our planet has been here for a long time. Technically, you could say it might even be ancient and has been here forever. And so these are processes that have happened again and again and again and again. And so I have found that whenever you have all the gas giants, which is our larger mass planets in the solar system, on the same side, you get some pretty wild Earth activity and solar activity, meaning earthquakes, volcanoes. And so that is the period we are going to be in for at least 6 more years as Jupiter comes around. And so, you know, science doesn't agree with that at all. It's called planetary orbital angular momentum. But at this point, we have a science who blames everything on carbon, and carbon is a lot like dark matter. You can't see it, you can't smell it, you can't touch it. So you just have to take science's word for it. Now, I love you, science, but you know, 95% of your funding comes from corporations or governments. And if you want to believe everything a government or corporation tells you, that's fine. That's not what we do here at Thor News. Because it's like, who do you trust more? Wall Street or science? And why? You know what I'm saying? Because like a lot of stuff science tells you, you cannot verify. Like when people get mad at me because I don't believe the earth is flat, technically I say I can't verify. I can't verify one way or another. Although if I had to guess, yeah, it's totally round. Or round-like. And so we watched that model run, and these are the dry spots, and a lot of times when you get the black darker show up, you get earthquake or volcano activity in the area, though these black spots have not been in the dark, so I'm not that worried about it. But I do want to say that the Popocatépetl volcano, which is right around here, has been going off, especially yesterday. It was like, it erupted like 8 times. And so, you know, the geoengineering people never include volcanoes. The like carbon people never include volcanoes. And volcanoes affect the heat of the ocean, the movement of the air, the gases they pour out. It's like when Mother Nature belches, or the earth itself belches, you don't know what's coming up. And so we don't necessarily know all the gases that are coming out of Earth. So, I don't know. It's strange times, man. Okay, so we're at 13 minutes. Yeah, so the energy has just been really wild the last few days. And sometimes I feel like it's like cosmic energy coming from like our galactic core and stuff. So I feel like sometimes it hits me first, and then it affects other people a few days later. And so, yeah, I mean, I had 1 or 2 dark nights of the soul where I was like, I don't want to be here anymore. I hate this place. Because, you know, waking up every day to women complaining about men and everybody talking about politics all day, every day, rock and roll being dead, comedy being dead, giant film studios being like a home movie school where they just remake films with their families and shit. It's like we're still going backwards as a civilization, and that drives me nuts. But when that energy cleared, I felt better. So if you've been going through that, just know that energy, this too will pass. And hopefully we're getting to better places. My estimate was that things would start to improve somewhere in January, but the real improvement would start in March. But I don't know. I've been wrong before, and shit is wild, and free will is real, so That's what we're dealing with. But things are just wacky. And so overall, this was me putting out a thing for these states saying, yeah, you got some heavy flooding coming your way, and a lot of those areas are already heavily saturated or dealing with a lot of moisture or flooding already. And so there's a ton of moisture as these things explode in the Atlantic, but the high pressure spot here is playing like a goalie, keeping a lot of the moisture out. I know that, I mean, and I say that, yeah, they're doing some geoengineering, dude, but it's a planetary system wide. Man is not fully in control of Earth in any capacity. And, you know, I don't know. People like, it makes them sleep well at night thinking that some guy with an app controls everything. That's just silly. But I'm not going to judge you. Do you, man. You do you. I'll do me. You know? And so, this is our look. Who knows? Now that I'm back in the saddle, I might be making a lot more videos. I might even be going live. Although, every time I try to go live, I'm having problems. As you can see, I'm not having problems with this. I'm only having problems when I try to go live. You know, it's been another thing is other groups like to try and control or destroy other competition. And so, I don't know. I'd like to go live more often, but I got a lot of people fighting me. And so I do the best I can with the hand I've been dealt. And I wish I'd been working more over the last few days because, you know, during that depressing period, I'm in a pretty scary financial situation, negative $31. So how I make my money is through contributions and donations to my PayPal link. If you appreciate all the work I've done over the last 6 years, or the first 2 weeks of February, or you just love me, or it's a late Valentine's gift. Like, I haven't even had enough money to go buy 75% off chocolates. I would appreciate it. And I will be at it. I've been pulling all the weather videos every day, mostly, and some of the videos I've seen are just crazy. I did a video. This video, I did a metaphor Brexit. It's fully edited. It took me a long time to do, considering all work intended. But there was like a 10-car pileup in this video, End Times Transition. In the middle of the video, it's the centerpiece. It's where like the visibility is low, the roads are icy and slick, but you still got people driving 80, and then you just watch as they pile up. Anyway, it's crazy. It's scary. So love you guys. I am back, and hopefully better than ever. And hopefully you guys have made it to the weekend sane and sound, and you pour a lot of energy into the things you love. And everybody stay cool, and I will talk to you soon. Peace out. God bless everyone.